Welcome back. A Muslim American teen arrested for lying to police in New York City after making up a story that she was attacked for being a Muslim. The 18-year-old said that 3 Trump supporters tried to rip off her hijab and called her a terrorist. The teen posting on Facebook, quote, "Trump America is real. I witnessed it firsthand." She also said no one came to help her. She even told local New York City media that Trump, quote, just promotes this stuff and is very anti-Muslim, very Islamophobic. He's just condoning it. Again, she was arrested for lying to the cops. She basically said she fabricated the story, evidently scared that her father would not want to find out about her night out drinking with friends. And also, she apparently is dating a Christian man. With me now is the president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. He is Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Doctor.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Liz.
Same with here. We love having you on. This teen went pretty far with this story, Doctor. She even gave police a description of, these alleged assailants. But the police couldn't find any witnesses to the attack. What are your thoughts?
Well, hats off to the police for getting to the truth and for you for covering this, because this is how we fix and reform our community. There's so much to unpack here, but at the bottom line, there's 2 major issues. One is the tribalism of misogyny, where this girl couldn't date, she couldn't party, she couldn't drink, come from a conservative family, wears a hijab, doesn't necessarily like this culture or believe in it based on her parents, so she had to lie to get along in her family. That is a misogyny that takes away bodily autonomy and the ability of women to choose for themselves. Fit that into a larger national narrative of Islamists who want to separate us out of the community, who want to create political movements based on being Muslim. That's what the Muslim Brotherhood, that's what Islamism is. The 2 work together by exploiting women who feel they can't act on their own. They tap into the grievance narrative and say America hates them, and they use it to feed off of each other.
And Doctor, the teen was seen in court with her head shaved. Apparently her parents forced her to shave her head, humiliating her. You know, your heart goes out to her. You feel for her in this position. And then there's this story, Doctor. We'd like your thoughts on this. More than 1,000 Muslims protesting outside the Syrian embassy in London. Protesters blaming the United States for the situation in Aleppo, demanding a Muslim caliphate in England. There's also been massive protests in France as well. The Calais jungle has been empty. That's what it was called. There's been protests in the suburbs of Paris. Now, Doctor, you could protesters could be heard from speakers. They were basically describing, Jihadi John, who was beheading people, as, quote, beautiful. And they're demanding a caliphate. Who are the groups behind these protests, Doctor?
Well, these groups we know about, and they're actually larger than you think. They're not just wackos. These are Hizb ut-Tahrir, which are caliphate-seeking groups that want to establish Islamic states. They've had conventions in Chicago. These in London, they've had multiple meetings, and they are almost a final step in that conveyor belt towards radicalization. The teaching point here is they're basically outing what a lot of Islamists believe, which is that the Islamic State, the Sharia state, is preferable to Western democracy. The crime for me as an American citizen, even beyond even only the sedition that they're preaching, is they did this next to a Syrian demonstration trying to make the West awaken to the crimes against humanity done there, and they're saying, oh, leave them alone, let them get butchered between ISIS, while they're on the ISIS side, versus Assad, who was also genocidal in Syria.
Yeah, the hypocrisy there is certainly evident. Doctor, how serious a threat is this in the United States?
It is beyond serious, because right now we have a whack-a-mole program that only deals with the violent extremism. These guys typify the most extreme of the non-violent extremists, which believe in the Islamic State. The communism of the Cold War is these Islamists of today's battle. There are millions in the West that believe that. 20 to 30% of Muslims don't believe in secular state. We have to start to monitor groups like this and other types of Muslim Brotherhood sympathy groups.
And Doctor, I think you would agree that the real war in women, the Democrats are always talking about a war in women. The real war in women is with these Islamist groups. It's in the Middle East and it's coming here, right, Doctor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is part of the Islamist movement, is a misogynist, patriarchal society that's tribal, that steals women's rights from them and their humanitarian rights that they deserve.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Melissa.